So just to reiterate what we did earlier, can you take yourselves on mute, please? I don't want to hear any shuffling around. And if you want to answer a question, feel free to do that, because it's important that I hear your responses. It doesn't come out so good on YouTube, but at least I can hear you very clearly when it comes through here, though. So negative, positive, zero correlation. That's just a bit of revision. More of the same. This is the slightly more challenging stuff where you have to give your own opinion of correlation. I've had some conflicting advice. So, for example, this thing about daily rainfall and sales of papers, you could go with zero correlation, because the amount of rainfall a day should not correlate with the amount of newspapers that are sold. Of course, Yusuf's talking about, well, if you go outside in the rain and your paper gets soggy, you may not want to buy a paper. Did I hear you right? Did I understand you correctly, Yusuf? Was that your reason? Yeah, it makes sense. I think this man is overthinking it. I think you're overthinking it, which means you've got a big brain, but you're using it too much for something that simple, all right? So I gave you feedback on that on Show My Homework. Secondly, I understand why some of you would have gone for zero correlation on 3D. Why? Because maths and science are different tests. But actually, it's been shown that those who are good at maths are generally good at science. Those who are poor at maths are generally poor at science. And so there's a very weak positive correlation between performance in maths and performance in science. And I did say the word weak. In other words, the points aren't close together up against the line of best fit. They're quite wide apart, but there is a general upward trend. So I'm going to go with that fact. Now, for the last lesson, we're going to exercise 2. Again, there's not a lot to do. Bear in mind DR and the other guy's name. What's his name? Can't remember his name. Connor. No, not Connor, the little one. Harrison, that's it. Thank you. Yeah. This is not homework. I'm not setting you 4 homeworks a week. I'm setting 4 bits of classwork, and I do mean bits. Many of you return it really quickly, which means when the video stops, you start. All right. Look at question 1. Yusuf, you're a good reader and you've got a nice microphone. Read to us. Page 251. There's the 7 days. There's the 7 days. Okay. What was the highest temperature recorded, Dio? The highest temperature is 28 degrees. That's 10 glasses of lemonade. Yeah? Can you see it? Yes or no? Oh, you only just got your book out. Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work on the screen, DR, because it's a bit too little, right? It's hard for me to see it even. Next question. What was the lowest number of glasses sold? Anyone? 5? I agree with that. Yeah. Would you be able to draw a line of best fit through that if you had to? I would roughly put it through there. I'm agreeing with Sid, and I'll put it through there. It will be very rough. It will be not a strong correlation. I mean, let's look at it. The lemonade store needs to sell more than 7 glasses a day to make a profit. More than 7 glasses a day. On how many days did we make a profit then, guys? How many days was there a profit? Yeah, that's above 7. That's above 7. That's above 7. That's good. Okay, so there's a weak positive correlation. The higher the temperature, the more lemonade gets sold. People get thirsty. They just fancy a drink. Makes sense. No. More than 7. You got to sell more than 7. It does say more than 7. Okay, that's fair. Okay, mic's off until you jump in. Okay, so you've understood that. It does say more than 7, so you break even with 7, but you won't make a profit. If you sell 8, you're probably going to make profit on that one glass above the 7. If you sell 10, you made profit on 3 glasses, the 7th one being, break even. So there's nothing to actually do with that. Don't copy that, because that's just nonsense and long. But you can actually answer the questions. Now, for question 2, I don't think I want you to do that either. Maybe I can't remember. I think I put it on show my homework, didn't I? Yeah, 2 and 3. Now, DR and Harrison, it's question 2 and 3 and 4D. I'm guessing you must have logged in, otherwise you won't be in the lesson. So just to reiterate, exercise 2, page 251 DR, you tend to get lost in the pages, question 2, 3 and 4D, and that needs to reach me sometime tonight. So plot the grid. No, I'm not going to wreck the book now, am I? It's silly. Question 3. We're going to plot the number of tickets, number of days until the festival starts there, and the number of tickets sold. You need to turn your mic off, so I can't hear you. Turn your mics off. You plot each piece of data. It's asking you to ask, is there a correlation, positive, negative, or no correlation? And then explain what this means. So, for example, it could be that as the number of days until the festival increases, the number of tickets sold might decrease. Why? Because more and more tickets have been sold, so fewer will be sold as you get nearer the time of the event, because fewer tickets are available. Is that fair? Anyone want to answer that question? I think it's fair for the simple reason, I'm just looking at the numbers, it seems to give that impression. So lots of tickets sold, fewer sold, and the fewest sold. So I think it's a weak negative correlation, but I don't know unless I plot it. I just don't know. And question 4D is right here. The reason I chose 4D, and DR and Harrison, that's on the other page. I just turned the page over. The reason I'm choosing 4D is because I want you to try and handle plotting decimals on any kind of grid that you make. And also, plotting these hundreds is very, very difficult. Here's a question for an intelligent person. Do I need to start my height of mountain from 0 meters on my graph? Please don't. Start from about 400. Start 400. Yes. Well, I'll see it when you've done it. Also here, the temperature at the summit, there's nothing that starts at 0, so the lowest value is 9.6, so start at 9. Otherwise, all your results, if you actually drew them both axes from 0, there'll be a few points somewhere at the top of your graph. Really silly, don't do that. So start from maybe 400 and start at 0. I mean, you could put the, let's have a look. I think you have height along the x-axis and the temperature along the y-axis. Then it'll look brilliant. I expect it to be a correlation, scientifically speaking, and that'll be fine. Is that okay? Does anyone need to ask a question in terms of what you must do or anything else about this? Please speak. So that means you're okay. That's good. If you come back on then, you'd like to come back on, I can see you and admire you. I now stop sharing.